Have you ever found yourself staring at your phone, heart pounding in your chest, because she hasn't texted back in an hour? Rereading your last message 100 times, convinced you said something wrong? Do you live with that quiet, gnawing fear in the back of your mind that any small disagreement, any moment of distance, means she's about to leave you? If that hits home, you need to listen to every word I'm about to say. That feeling isn't love, it's anxiety. And it is the single biggest reason you keep pushing good women away, and even worse, attracting manipulators who will use that fear against you. You're living in a state of constant emotional exhaustion, and for what? To end up alone and heartbroken anyway? Today, that cycle ends. I'm going to pull back the curtain and reveal the exact ways your anxious attachment style is sabotaging your love life. We're not just talking about the obvious stuff. I'm going to show you the subtle mistake that makes her see you as weak, even when you think you're being a great guy. As a psychologist who works exclusively with men, I've seen this pattern destroy countless relationships from the inside out. But I've also guided men back to a place of solid, masculine confidence. This is fixable. So if you're ready to stop being a slave to your own anxiety, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more truths they won't tell you elsewhere, and type YES in the comments right now if you've ever felt that gut-wrenching fear of being abandoned. Let's get to work. The first and most common way you're killing attraction is through what I call reassurance seeking. This is the constant need for validation that you are still loved, that the relationship is still secure. The common misconception here, the lie you tell yourself, is that you're just being open and communicative. You think, I'm just sharing my feelings. Isn't that what women want? Let me give you the hidden truth, man to man. When you constantly ask, are we okay? You seem distant, did I do something wrong? Or the classic, do you still love me? After every minor bump in the road, she doesn't hear a man who is in touch with his feelings. She hears a child who needs his mommy to tell him everything is all right. It communicates a profound lack of confidence, not just in her feelings for you, but in your own value as a man. The psychological reality is that female attraction is deeply tied to a sense of a man's emotional stability. She wants to feel like you are her rock. But if you need her to constantly reassure you, you are forcing her to be your rock. This is a complete role reversal, and it is a death sentence for her desire. The danger for you is that this behavior puts all the power in her hands. She becomes the gatekeeper of your emotional state. This not only makes you incredibly easy to manipulate, but it forces her into a caretaker role, which is the least sexy role a woman can play for her man. The solution? You must learn to self-soothe. Her job is not to manage your anxiety. Your job is to manage your anxiety. The next time that fear bubbles up, instead of grabbing your phone to text her, I want you to grab a dumbbell, go for a run, work on that business plan you've been putting off, or call a male friend. You must build your own internal validation engine so that her validation becomes a nice bonus, not the fuel you need to survive. Next, we have to talk about protest behavior. This one is insidious because it feels powerful in the moment, but it's actually a sign of deep powerlessness. This is when you intentionally provoke a negative reaction from her just to get any emotional reaction. The common misconception is that you're standing up for yourself or calling her out. You feel a flicker of distance from her, your anxiety spikes, and instead of communicating calmly, you pick a fight. You get passive-aggressive. You bring up an old issue. You act cold and distant yourself, hoping she'll notice and come chasing. The hidden truth is that this is the adult equivalent of a toddler throwing a tantrum to get their mother's attention. You're not trying to solve a problem. You're trying to force a connection, even a negative one, because a negative connection feels safer to your anxious brain than no connection at all. Let's look at the evidence. Have you ever started an argument over something trivial, like how she loaded the dishwasher, when what you were really upset about was that she hadn't said, I love you that day? Have you ever posted a picture with another girl on social media just to see if she'd get jealous? That is protest behavior. The danger here is catastrophic. You are training her to associate your presence with drama and conflict. You are teaching her that being around you is emotionally taxing. No high-value woman will tolerate this for long. She will either leave or you will find yourself with a woman who thrives on drama, and that is a nightmare you do not want. The mindset shift is this: a secure man communicates his needs directly and calmly from a place of value. He doesn't manufacture drama to feel important. The solution is to learn to say what you mean. Instead of picking a fight, learn to say, "Hey, I've been feeling a little disconnected from you lately. I'd love to set aside some time for just us this week." See the difference? One is a desperate plea for attention. The other is a confident request from a man who knows his worth. Now, for the one I mentioned at the beginning, this is the subtle mistake that absolutely tanks a woman's perception of you. I call it mind reading and overanalyzing. This is when you live in your head, treating her every action, word, and even punctuation mark as a clue in a detective novel about her feelings for you. The common misconception is that you're just being attentive or perceptive. You think you're staying ahead of problems by noticing every tiny shift in her mood or behavior. The hidden truth is that you are not being attentive to her. You are being hyper-vigilant about your own anxiety. You're not analyzing her. You're projecting your fears onto her. You're taking a blank canvas and painting your own insecurities all over it. The concrete evidence? Her text says, "okay," and you spend the next 3 hours debating with yourself if she's mad, losing interest, or secretly seeing someone else, when in reality she was just driving. She's quiet one evening and you immediately conclude it's because of something you did when she's just tired from work. You are creating entire negative narratives out of thin air. The danger here is twofold. First, it makes you incredibly reactive and neurotic. You're living on an emotional roller coaster that you built yourself. Second, it makes her feel constantly scrutinized and suffocated. She can't have a bad day or be tired without you making it about you and your insecurities. It forces her to constantly manage your perception of reality, which is exhausting. She feels like she has to walk on eggshells around you. The solution is to adopt what I call a policy of trust and reality testing. Trust her words over the stories in your head. If she says she's fine, take her at her word until her actions give you a concrete, undeniable reason not to. A secure man lives in reality. He doesn't get lost in the haunted house of his own imagination. He operates on facts, not fear-fueled fantasies. Finally, we need to address the foundation of anxious attachment, prematurely idealizing her. This is when you meet a woman and within weeks or even days, you've already decided she is the one. You place her on a massive pedestal and make her the sole source of your happiness. The common misconception is that this is romantic. You think you're showing how much you care, how deeply you've fallen for her. You believe this intense focus on her is what love is supposed to feel like. The hidden psychological truth is that you are not in love with her. You are in love with the idea of being saved from your own loneliness and insecurity. You've made her the solution to a problem that exists inside of you. This isn't love, it's addiction. The evidence is clear. You start sacrificing your own life to fit into hers. You drop your hobbies. You see your friends less. Your entire mood for the day depends on whether or not you've had a positive interaction with her. You're terrified of disagreeing with her or setting any boundaries for fear that this perfect savior will leave you. The danger is immense. By putting her on a pedestal, you automatically place yourself beneath her. This dynamic makes authentic connection impossible and kills any chance of her respecting you as an equal. Furthermore, it's a magnet for narcissistic and manipulative women who will gladly take that position of power and exploit your desperate need for their approval. The mindset shift requires you to see women as they are, not as saviors. The solution is to keep living your own life. Continue to invest in your purpose, your fitness, your friendships, and your passions. You must have a life that you love, independent of her. A woman is meant to be a wonderful complement to your already awesome life, not the sole reason for it. A high-value woman doesn't want to be your everything. She wants to be with a man who already has everything going for himself. So let's recap. You're seeking constant reassurance, manufacturing drama with protest behaviors, overanalyzing everything she does, and putting her on a pedestal before you even truly know her. This isn't a collection of bad habits. It's a strategy born from a deep-seated fear that you are not enough. But listen to me carefully. Healing this is not about becoming a cold, detached jerk who doesn't care. It's the exact opposite. It's about building such a solid internal foundation of self worth that you can finally love a woman from a place of genuine strength and freedom, not from a place of fear and desperation. It's about becoming the man who doesn't need her validation to feel whole, which paradoxically is what makes women feel an irresistible pull of attraction and respect towards you. Remember this: a woman cannot respect a man she has to constantly reassure. The power to change this entire dynamic is in your hands. It starts with the decision to stop outsourcing your self worth and to start building it from within. If this message hit home for you, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button, like this video, and share it with a friend you know who is stuck in this painful cycle. You might just change his life. Heal yourself, or you will keep bleeding on people who didn't cut you.